Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Dhyanamulam Gururmurti Pujamulam Gururpadam Mantramulam Gururvakyam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Chidarpana. Jai Gurudev. Welcome to everyone at the center, as well as welcome to everyone on Zoom. Starting the center Gita after some time, so chapter 6 is where we left it at the Swadhyay, so we will start chapter 6 again. Let's chant first Shlok 27 to 34. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Shashtodhyayaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Prashanta Manasam Yenam Yoginam Sukhamuttamam Upaiti Shantarajasam Brahma Bhutam Akalmasham Yunjanevam Sadatmanam Yogi Vigata Kalmasha Sukhena Brahma Sansparsham Adyantam Sukham Ashnute Sarva Bhuta Stamatmanam Sarva Bhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sa cha me na pranashyati sarvabhutasthhitam yo mam bhajatyekatvamasthitah sarvatha vartamanopi sa yogi mai vartate atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yojuna sukham va yadi va dukham sa yogi paramo matah. Arjuna uvacha yoyam yogastvaya proktah samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatva sthitim sthiram chanchalam hi mana krishna pramati balavadridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayuriva sudashkaram. Hope that's it. So since it's been a while since we have done the Swadhyay, I thought we will have a little recap of what the Gita has taught us up till now. So as you know, Adhyaay 1 was called Arjun Vishad Yog, where we saw Arjun on the battlefield ready for battle, but despondent, confused, dejected and ready to give up the fight. Then came Adhyaay 2, which we call Sankhya Yoga. Bhagwan gives the full Gita Updesh in the second Adhyaay. If Arjun had understood everything at that time, there would not have been the need for any more Adhyayas. But like Arjun, we were also not knowing much better after the second Adhyaay. So Bhagwan had to go ahead with the rest of the Gita. So it started then, the Gita Updesh started with Adhyaay 3, 4, 5 devoted mainly to Karma Yoga. So Bhagwan explained what is Karta Bhav, what is Bhokta Bhav, how to use Vivek, how to develop Vairagya, how to purify the Antakaran basically. Because to be able to get this knowledge as well established in us, we need to purify the Antakaran. So 3, 4, 5, 3 Adhyayas devoted to Karma Yoga in different ways. Then came Adhyaay 6, which is our current Adhyaay. What is the name of this Adhyaay? Atma Sanyam Yoga. Atma Sanyam Yoga means the yoga of self-control. Now, after 5 Adhyayas, we are assuming that the purification process has been practiced. You have done Karma Yoga and most of the mal, vikshep, etc. have settled down. Like water, when you purify, all the kachara settles down, water becomes pure. So by the 6th Adhyaay, Bhagwan assumes you are ready for meditation. So Atma Sanyam Yoga is mainly preparing us for meditation. What kind of meditation? Meditation for self-realization. Not a weekend pastime meditation, not meditation for achieving some goal in life, not for having your desires met, because nowadays all kinds of meditations are practiced for health also. But this is meditation for self-realization. So mainly what Bhagwan will tell us is who is eligible or when are you eligible to practice meditation first. Then what are the preparations you need to do in order to practice meditation. Then the actual process of meditation. And finally the benefits of this form of meditation. So quickly we will go through the 32 verses which we have already studied in brief. Right in the beginning, in Shlok 1 and 2, Bhagwan talks about renunciation. And he says that whether you are a karma yogi or you are a sannyasi, you still have to practice renunciation. Why is that? Because when you want to meditate, you don't want to have excess baggage in your antakaran. So what you have to renounce is the excess baggage, all the emotional baggage that we are carrying. So what all we have to renounce? So 3 and 4 tells us what we have to renounce. What is it? Renounce your negativities. Negativities means your kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, matsarya. Renounce that. Then after renouncing means purifying the mind of all that. Now the pure mind has to become still. So you have to learn how to still the mind. Then all your attachments to vishayas have to be renounced. So these are all the renunciations. Renouncing your avguns, renouncing your chanchalta, renouncing your attachment to vishayas, even renouncing our attachment to actions. Ye karna hai, wo karna hai, all this, I will do this, I will do that. That also has to go. And finally, renouncing your thoughts. All this preparation has to be made ready. Then you become eligible for meditation. You are not still in the process. You are in the becoming eligible for that. Okay? Then what happens in 5 to 9? Shlok 5 to Shlok 9. Bhagwan tells us how to use the mind. He says use the mind to lift yourself, not use the mind to degrade yourself. So what does it mean to lift yourself? Easy. Instead of adharma, practice dharma. Instead of choosing prayer, choose shreya. Instead of having tamas and rajas more predominant, have sattva as predominant. Get rid of avguns, cultivate sadguns. What else? Confusion take out, clarity bring in. Lift yourself. So all the negatives have to go, the positives have to be cultivated. Slowly, Dehanishta has to be replaced by Brahmanishta. So if you use the mind, if you have trained the mind, if the mind supports you in all this, then the mind is your friend. If the mind is not trained, even the mind is not restrained, if the mind is not supporting you with all this, then that same mind is becoming your enemy. So this Bhagwan clearly tells us from Shlok 5 to Shlok 9. And we can remember the analogy of the chariot, where the reins are the mind and the charioteer, who was Bhagwan Krishna, the buddhi, is holding the reins of the mind. So then the mind becomes your friend. If the reins are not held tight, the mind will become your enemy. So that took us straight to Shlok number 9. Then came preparing. Still we are not in the ready for meditation. Still we are in the preparation. So from Shlok 10 to Shlok 26, there is preparation for meditation. What does Bhagwan say? How to prepare? Firstly, your environment. It should be still, silent, seclusion. Not only environment outside, but internal environment also should be shant. Then ekaki, one word was there. It is not a group activity. When you are meditating, you are on your own. Then control of body, control of mind, shama, dhamma, all that. Now Bhagwan says you have to be nirashi, desireless. At that time, you cannot be disturbed by desires. Then aparigraha. Aparigraha means detached from possessions. So it's not like I'm sitting for meditation and then I'm concerned where is my phone and where is my water bottle. All that, you have to be completely devoid of all those things. Then he says that the place should be clean. The asana should be firm. Place should not be too high, should not be too low. You all remember all this? Remember we did all these things. The posture should be correct. The gaze should be correct. Remember all that? Gaze. And then number of thoughts have to go. There should be concentration, ekagrata. Then what else? Mind should be prashant atma. Mind should be calm. Mind should be placid. And fearlessness. Vigata bhi. Sometimes people, when they go into meditation and they feel all like alone, they get afraid. So they immediately want to come out, or they are afraid of the unknown. So you need to be fearless. And then of course, brahmachari vrata. Celibacy is required for good practice of meditation. Bhagavan also says, a person who wants to meditate should be moderate in their eating, in their drinking, in their working, in their sleeping, in their recreation. All these things, neither too much nor too little also. Okay? So all this is still preparation. All this is still preparation. Meditation has not yet started. Then from Shloka 27 to 29, Bhagavan describes the state of being established in the self. The meditation practice will become successful, Bhagavan says, only if you feel that no other gain is greater than the bliss of being established in the self. The value you are giving to the benefit of meditation should be higher than the value you are giving to the happiness or the sukh that you are getting outside. And the firm understanding that once you reach that anand, that can never be taken away from you. It's your permanent state. So there are some phrases which we should keep in mind. Yog yukt atma. Yog yukt atma means you have identified with the Supreme Consciousness. Yog yukt atma. Second, the experience that you will have will be sukham uttamam, the highest bliss, the highest anand. In that state or after that state, you will see sarvatra sama darshanam. You will see divinity in everyone. You don't just see it in yourself, you see it in everyone. Sarvatra sama darshanam. Equanimity in vision to all. Atmanam sarva bhutastham. The beautiful things we can keep these phrases in our mind. Sees the one in all. To see the one in all. And finally, when all this happens, the knower of Brahma, as we say, realizes he is Brahma himself. Brahmavid Brahmaeva Bhavati. Alright? 30 and 31. Bhagwan's guarantee. Once again, just like in Adhyaay 9, here also Bhagwan is giving you a guarantee. What is that guarantee? Tasya hamna pranashyami sacha mena pranashyati. He is never lost to me, nor am I ever lost to him. Means once you have merged, once the river has gone in the ocean, you cannot separate it. And not only while you are meditating, sarvatha vartamanopi sa yogi mai vartate. No matter what the condition of the yogi may be, due to his prarabdha, he is never lost to me, I am never lost to him. No matter prarabdha may take you here, prarabdha may take you there, prarabdha may trouble you, prarabdha may cause turbulence, yet I am never lost to you and you are never lost to me. Bhagwan's guarantee. And finally, the conclusion of the meditation process, which we finished last time in Shloka 32. Here we said there are 3 things which are going to happen. What are those 3 things? Tattva Gyan. You are going to have conviction of what is Sat, what is Asat, what is Mithya. Second, Mano Nasha. Mano Nasha means the mind is a flow of thoughts. This flow of thoughts will stop. And therefore the mind will not be unsteady, still. Third thing will happen, most important, Vasana Shaya, destroying of all Vasanas. And then Bhagavan says, such a yogi, most important word, such a yogi is deemed to be the highest of all. Sa yogi paramo mataha. This is my opinion. This is where we stopped. Then what happened? We started Adhyaay 9 suddenly. So I was wondering how suddenly it happened like that we stopped at halfway through 6. Then I thought of starting 9. When I started thinking like that, I realized there must be some reason for that, because nothing happens without a reason. And I don't always make the decisions. So in hindsight, I thought, Bhagavan has given us hundreds of things to prepare. Eligibility, prepare the outside, prepare the inside, get rid of this, get rid of that. All this, not very easy, right? We have all tried. And it takes time. And we may also doubt, is it possible? Will I be able to do so many things? Will I ever be able to do so many things? There is a doubt. Arjun definitely got a doubt. And like Arjun, I am sure many others also thought, I too can just sit like this for meditation. Now Bhagavan is saying I have to do so many things. Arjun is going to voice his doubt in the very next 2 shlokas, okay? And Bhagavan is also going to explain after that. It is possible. But still, as sadhaks, we may have a doubt. Even after Bhagavan says it is possible, we may still have a doubt. So perhaps the universe thought, let's go to number 9. 7 to 8 times Bhagavan is giving guarantee that sadhaks of all levels can do it. Yes or not? We did number Adhyaay 9 so many times. Bhagavan said, if you are like this, you can get. If you are like this, you can get. If you are a bhakt, if you are a jigyasu, if you are a jnani, even if you are a papi, if you do like this, so many guarantees. So maybe after hearing all these guarantees, if we hear Bhagavan's Updesh, you have to do like this, maybe then we will be more motivated or inspired to actually do it. So ये बात भगवान की लीला है that suddenly in 6 we had to stop, and now we continue with the end shlokas of Adhyaay 6. Alright, so 32 is done. We have to start with 33, shlok number 33. Let's chant 33 again. Arjuna uvacha yoyam yogastvaya proktaha samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthitim sthiram. Arjun said, read with me. Krishna, owing to restlessness of mind, I do not perceive the stability of this yoga in the form of equanimity of which you have just spoken. Arjuna has a doubt. Let's take the meanings first. Madhusudana is the word or the name that Arjuna has chosen for Bhagwan in this shloka. So it means Bhagwan Krishna. Ayam, this yog is yog only, like this, what he has just described, seeing equanimity and all, seeing Bhagwan and all, this yog, which has just prokta, spoken, which has just been spoken, tvaya, by you. Samyena, in the form of equanimity, aham, I, na pashyami, do not perceive, do not see, do not feel, do not think. Na pashyami, I do not perceive. Sthitim sthiram, steadiness, stability. I mean, with this practice which you have given, I can't imagine that I can have stability etasya of this yoga chanchalatva, owing to the restlessness of the mind. What you have said, Bhagwan, I cannot imagine also that with this method I will be able to get stability of mind, because my mind is very restless. So Arjuna is voicing one doubt. So what is this doubt? Is this doubt in Bhagwan's Updesh? Is this a doubt in the ability of the mind to ever be still? Or is it a doubt in his own capabilities of stilling his mind? Obviously, it is the last. He is doubting his own ability. He is doubting his own capability of achieving this highest goal by stabilizing his own mind. He is not saying, Bhagwan, what you are saying is rubbish, what you are saying is wrong, what you are saying is impossible. And this distinction is very important, because sometimes we doubt what we hear, we doubt the Updesh, but the Updesh coming from Bhagwan can never be wrong. So instead of having sanshay about the teaching, examine your own ability to grasp it or not being able to grasp it. So this is very important. What exactly is Arjun doubting? And along with Arjun, many of us also could be doubting our own capabilities, right? He says, Etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatva sthitim sthiram. Means, I don't see how it is possible to stabilize this restless mind. Isn't that something that all of us would like to know? Now look at Arjun's condition. Remember him from Adhyaay 1. Vishad, confusion, doubt, sankalp, vikalp, what to do, despondency, and he is also, remember, by Varna, Kshatriya. Kshatriya, obviously preponderance is there of Rajas. Rajas means movement. Rajas means action, and not just physical action but also mental action. So Arjun is aware of the nature of his own mind. He knows he is a Kshatriya. He knows there is a lot of Rajas in him. He recognizes the nature of his mind, and that is the first thing a sadhak needs to recognize. your own nature of your own mind. Don't cover up your own condition. You be aware, what is my state? Otherwise, we justify our inability to do something by blaming it on other conditions. So this Bhagwan is telling us here, Arjun is aware of his own swabhav. He is aware of his own nature, and he knows also it's very difficult for me to still my restless mind. So I think at this stage we need to understand what is the mind. So we also need to find out the swabhav of our mind. So in order to find the swabhav of our mind, we need to know what is mind. So what is mind? Mind is just flow of thoughts. That's it. The mind is nothing but a flow of thoughts. Do not mistake the mind for brain. Brain is an organ. It is situated in the skull. It is connected to the rest of your bodies through the nervous system. Right? It's limited to its geographical position in the skull and its connection to the body through nerves. But the mind pervades the entire body of the jiva to which it belongs. It is not an organ, it is subtle, it is sukshma. It is made up of the pure sattvic elements of the Panchabhut. What does the mind do? It simply collects all the sensations brought in by the sense organs. Collects it. And in its own capacity, it judges good, bad, ugly, nice, bad, whatever. But it cannot decide anything on its own. It only can fluctuate between sankalp and vikalp. It cannot take any decision. By its limited perception, it gives rise to emotions and feelings. So emotions and feelings exist in this so-called mind. Whenever we feel a desire, or we feel a fear, or even happiness, or unhappiness, steadiness or fluctuation, whatever emotion or feeling we have, the mind takes on the vritti of that emotion, takes on an appropriate vritti. The mind becomes fear, the mind becomes happiness, the mind becomes dukkha. And all this is connected with the stimulation from outside. Vishay. Vishay is everything, right? Not just an object. Now, because the mind is so connected and entangled with the Vishay, engrossed in the Vishay, and the Vishay could be either tamasic, rajasic or sattvic, it creates an attachment. And that very attachment is the cause of bondage. If the mind is free of the object, then there is no bondage. Then it is free, it's liberated. It's on its own. It's not bound to the sukh or the dukh of any vishay. If the mind feels that the vishay, meaning the experience, the situation, the object is favorable, good, then it feels calm, it feels happy because it's got priya. But if the vishay or the situation or the experience is not according to its liking, then dukh. And this sukh and this dukh that the mind goes on reacting to with the vishay is your bondage. So the mind is the cause of your bondage. Because it is always restless. In 1 minute it is feeling sukh, in the next minute it is feeling dukh. And here you are, helplessly slave of the sukh and the dukh. And this is what Arjun is aware of. He is aware that his mind is sometimes feeling sukh, sometimes feeling dukh, and he is feeling bound. That is his despondency. He is feeling stuck over there on the battlefield. On one hand, he knows it's my dharma to do this battle, to engage in this battle. On the other hand, he sees Bhishma Pitama, he sees Guru Dronacharya, he sees all these people, and he feels dukh. And in this sukh and in this dukh, he is just trapped, as all of us are also, in our own sukhs and in our own dukhs. Okay? So that is what the mind is. That is the mind, the culprit of everything. So this is Arjun's current state, chanchalatva, restlessness. And he needs to go to sthiram sthiti, steady state. How is he going to go from this chanchal state to this sthiram sthiti? One of the major reasons why the mind cannot come out of this sukh and dukh. So there has to be a cause for that also. And you know the biggest cause of the bondage? Rag and dvesh. Arjun is also aware in his mind there is rag and there is dvesh. Rag, great attachment towards. Dvesh, great aversion from. And either rag running to or dvesh running from. The mind is always running to or running from. It is always running, and a running mind cannot be still and stable. And if the mind is not still and stable, he has just heard Bhagavan has said, you will not be able to meditate. And if you are not able to meditate, you will not reach your supreme goal. And this is what Arjun is feeling, the doubt and confusion. Also, Bhagavan says it has to be over a period of time. You don't have to make your mind still while you are meditating. It has to be its continuous state. It has to be a continuous state. It is not a mood. Stillness is not a mood that you have to develop. It is supposed to be your state of being. So, obviously he feels helpless in this situation, like most of us would feel if Bhagavan came and told us all this, then we would say, oh, how am I going to do it? So that is why Arjun calls Bhagavan Krishna Madhusudana. He could have said Krishna, he could have said any other name, but he calls Madhusudana. Why Madhusudana? Madhu was a Rakshas, which nobody could destroy except Bhagavan Krishna. Sudana means one who kills. The one who kills this Rakshas Madhu is Madhusudana. Arjun realizes this rag and dvesh which is inside me, which is causing me to go from sukh to dukh, is like a Rakshas inside me. And this Rakshas can only be killed by Bhagavan Krishna. Therefore, he voices his confusion, he voices his doubt to Bhagavan Krishna. He knows that until and unless my raga and dvesh is destroyed, I will not be able to reach my goal. And he also knows that by himself, he cannot destroy it. Can we destroy raga and dvesh by ourselves? Not possible. Or we need some help in that. So he needs the assistance of Bhagavan, Bhagavan's wisdom, Bhagavan's strength, Bhagavan's shreya. He needs all those, the support from Bhagavan to be able to destroy it and reach his goal. So he addresses Madhusudana. And he is not finished he's so upset that, until and all this goes away from my antakaran, I will not be able to reach my goal. So next shloka also, he continues talking about the condition of his mind and what needs to be worked on. Let's go to Shlok 34. Let's read it first. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna Pramati balabadridham Tasyaham nigraham manye Vayuriva sudashkaram. For Krishna, read with me, the mind is very unsteady, turbulent, tenacious and powerful. Therefore, I consider it as difficult to control as the wind. Take the meanings. Krishna, of course, means Bhagwan Krishna. He, it is well known that, emphasis. He, mana, the mind. Chanchalam, very unsteady, fickle. Pramati, turbulent. Balavat, powerful. Balavat we can take as tenacious and Dridham you can take as powerful. Nigraham, control, restraint. Tasya, of that, means of the mind, control of the mind. Aham, I. Manye, consider. Sudushkaram, very difficult, impossible to achieve. Vayo, river, just like the wind. So he already has told, I find it impossible to do. Now he is justifying why he is doubting. Or he is analyzing his own mind also. Vayu river sudashkaram means it is difficult to control like the wind. The mind is difficult to control like the wind. So, have you ever tried controlling the wind? What Arjuna is trying to say is that the wind is blowing in the sky. That is its nature, right? That is the swabhav of wind is to move. And in the sky, stop. Trying to make the wind motionless. Possible? Not possible. So Arjuna is saying, Bhagwan, like it's impossible to stop the wind which is moving in the sky, I think it is impossible for me to make my mind, which is also restless, to suddenly stop. Another way of seeing this restlessness of the mind, the Shastras give this example of an elephant that is in mast. You know, when it got that reproduction hormones are raging, at that time you try to control the male elephant, it is almost impossible. Even the trainer sometimes get injured in the process. So just like it is difficult to restrain the male elephant while the male elephant is in masta, or they call it in rat also, like that I find that my mind is impossible to stop moving. So just as it would be dangerous to stop the elephant at that time, In the same way, if we are not able to stop the mind, it is also dangerous for us as spiritual aspirants. So now, one by one, Arjun is going to describe the mind. First he calls it chanchal, restless. So the wind is not always predictable in which direction the wind will blow. Right? Sometimes it will blow from north to south, from east to west, south to north, in any direction and any time. And same way, our mind also, there is no prediction in which direction it will go. You may be sitting here listening to Gita, and 1 second your mind could be, "Bai aayi hai ka ghar mein khana banaya hai ke nahi?" So anywhere your mind can go in any direction. Like the wind, your mind is fickle, easily distracted. Correct or not? Suddenly somebody will come in, everyone will look that side, because the mind has straight away gone to some new thing. And that is why he calls it, we call mind chanchal monkey. Monkey also goes on jumping from tree to tree, and we don't know which tree it will next jump to. Like that, our mind also keeps jumping. So Arjun is justified in having a doubt, how will I make my mind still? So this is a sadhak's first problem, making the mind still from its restless movement. Correct? Second, Bhagavan says the mind is pramathi, turbulent. There's a word pramathan. Pramathan means churning. You know, when you churn the butter, so some goes round and round. There is a upheaval. So think of a flight you may have taken when there is bad weather. There is turbulence. How do you feel? How does your stomach feel? How does your thought feel? How is your mind thinking? Everything is going little bit crazy, right? So just like that, as in the plane, you feel uncomfortable with turbulence of weather, in the same way, there is a turbulence that is happening in the body and the mind. And in the plane, you feel sick in the stomach. Sometimes when there's turbulence in the mind also, we feel extremely sick. We feel nauseous. We feel something terrible happening in the stomach. And when you are in the plane and all this turbulence is happening, some fear is there. Kya hoga? What will happen now? So of course, after the recent incident, we will feel more scared. Some fear happens, something happens. So in the same way, in the plane, the weather is causing the turbulence. What is causing the turbulence in us is the Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. This is causing the turbulence in our mind. Upheavals. Think of it. Think of any situation. You have calm, this strong desire to do something. Something is not allowing you to do. Then immediately Krodh comes. And when Krodh comes, you all know how it feels. The pulse goes fast, the language goes fast, the voice gets loud, the body starts sweating. All kinds of physical and mental turbulences happen. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. We have talked about all this long ago. Now, why is it that all this thing is happening because of some situation? It's very interesting to know that this equipment which we have, we call body, mind, intellect. This equipment, it's just an equipment. It's not who you are. It's an equipment which you have. It has to be held together by something. Otherwise, how will the body know what's going on in the mind? How will the mind know what's going on in the body? How will the intellect be connected? So something has to connect all these different parts of the equipment. Yes or no? For it to function as one whole. And what is holding all this together is one very flimsy non-entity called ego, ahankar. This ahankar is some notion of I, which says I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, and you see the common thing in all these three sentences is I. So what is holding this entire equipment together is one very fragile, one very flimsy, one very ridiculous, and I call it entity because not even a real thing, called ego. Now, what is this ego? False sense of who you are. It's a false sense of self. And because it is so fragile and so sensitive, it immediately gets affected by the slightest of stimuli. Good stimuli also or bad stimuli also. Good, somebody says something good, ego feels, oh wow, I'm so good. And the minute you hear some small insinuation, some small insult, some small monkey donkey word, ego gets affected. Right or wrong? Good, bad, high, low, everything, ego gets affected. And once the ego gets triggered, the brain, the senses, the nervous system, the digestive system, the hormonal system, the breathing system, all the systems get affected. All this, because it is the one thing which is connecting all these three things together, and it is only getting affected. So bodies have to get affected, mind has to get affected, intellect has to get affected to such a degree, sometimes we cannot even sleep at night. Sleep also gets affected because this ego has got triggered. And just like in the aeroplane, you have no control over that weather which is causing the turbulence. In the same way, we also have no control or very little control over the Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya that is causing turbulence in our BMI. And with lack of control makes us feel all the more sick. Yes or no? It has an energy of its own. And this is causing pramati. This is making the mind turbulent. Can you identify with this? Can you recognize it ever happening to you? And that is Arjun's concern. That is Arjun's doubt. How will he ever make this turbulence stop? How will he ever be able to make this turbulence shant? Okay? So restlessness and turbulence. Do you agree with what Arjun is feeling? Would you say that he is justified? We can also probably think of situations in our life where these things have happened to us also. Then he says the mind, third characteristic he has given, balavat. Balavat, tenacious, resistant. Means you are pulling something, then it's pulling you back in the opposite direction. That is called tenacious. Now we know as sadhaks, as aspirants, that we want to reach the highest level of the spiritual goal. But if we want to reach there, we have to get rid of these 6 enemies, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. We know it. So if you think of that chariot thing again, if we think of the chariot analogy, horses are the senses, the reins are the mind, and Bhagwan Krishna holding, the charioteer holding the reins is your buddhi. So this job of training or restraining the mind is the job of the buddhi, intellect. What does the intellect have to do? Firstly, he has to hold the mind. How does he have to hold the mind? The intellect has to hold the mind not too tight and not too loose. Holding the reins of the mind too tight means the mind will not be able to do anything. And holding the reins too loose means the mind will be going all over the place. So buddhi has to hold the mind correctly, at the right tension. Secondly, with the reins, the horses have to be directed, turn right, go straight, or turn left. If he wants the chariot has to go right, he will pull the right side of the rein. So the horse will turn towards the right. Wants to go left, he has to pull the left side of the rein. So he has to direct the indriyas by the correct tug of the rein. All this is the job of the buddhi. So he has to direct us in terms of indriya and mind. Intellect has to direct us towards shreya and not towards priya. That is the job of the intellect. And through the mind, he has to do this job. So if we have trained our buddhi to hold the reins correctly, to hold the reins not too tight and not too loose, if we have trained the buddhi to direct the man and indriya to shreya and not to priya, then we can say that the mind is trained and restrained. But if the intellect has not been trained through sadhana, then the intellect is also going to be a puppet in the hands of the ego. Right? So, that is why when we don't train, the mind becomes tenacious. It just goes in the direction wherever it wants to go. Secondly, from tenacious we can say that we are all creatures of habit, yes or no? How does a habit get formed? Repeatedly you do some particular way of behavior, that behavior becomes a habit. Now, when we have a habit, the mind holds that habit very tenaciously. The mind does not want change. The mind is comfortable in doing what it knows how to do. You have definitely experienced ever, if you have tried to change a habit, how difficult it is to change a habit. Because even if you succeed temporarily, after 1st of January, you will take the resolution, you will exercise every day for 1 hour. After 3rd of January, you know what happens. So when you try to change a habit, the mind wants to go back to status quo. If you want to start any habit, the mind will tenaciously hold on to tamas. Like this, it is very difficult to give up any old habit. It is also very difficult to start a new habit. So that is why, knowing that, Arjun feels, how will I ever change this habit of my restless mind from going here and there, roaming around in sansar, and from that habit of roaming around in sansar, how will I make that mind come and get established in the self? Tenacious mind will want to keep going into sansar and not go inside. Justified Arjun's doubt? Definitely, right? So then, Balavat. Mind is very tenacious. And finally, Dridham. Powerful. Tough. Why do we say the mind is so tough? Because it is entwined into all our vasanas. It is bound by our vasanas, and we all know how strong our vasanas are. So the mind is bound by the vasanas, it's entwined in all our desires which are in our subconscious mind, they're hidden deep within us, and they have a powerful energy all of their own. When that vasana comes up, it takes the mind takes the vritti of the vasana and the action starts. Even if one vasana we manage to destroy, 1,000 others are there to keep the mind bound. Yes or no? And it's not very easy also for the intellect to engage with the mind and say, stop it. It's very difficult. The vrittis keep on flooding the mind one by one. So tenaciously, powerfully, the mind holds on to these desires. Even if we succeed, yes, we succeed for a while. For a while. If we are not trained, then after some time, again we will lapse because of the habit, we will lapse back into fulfilling that. Till that desire gets fulfilled, there will be turbulence. So all these things one by one are all entwined one into the other. Mind will not give up till the desire is met. So what are the 4 qualities that that Arjun has discovered of his own mind? One is, it is chanchal. Second, it is turbulent. Third, it is tenacious. And fourth, it is very strong and powerful. When Bhagwan Shankaracharya wrote his commentary for this shloka, he called the mind, he said, I'm not going to read the Sanskrit, the mind is hard to cut like the Tantu Naga. The Tantu Naga they have translated as a large shark. The mind is like a large shark. Shark, fish. It is dangerous. It is one that eats anything up. Another translation or interpretation of this word, Tantu Naga, is Naga Pasha. Naga Pasha is supposed to be one magical noose, that rope they put around the neck. It's some magical noose that people used to use in the olden days in a battle. So you just put that noose around some enemy's neck and they are finished. And in Gujarat, this word is used as Tantani, meaning octopus. Now you remember octopus, all the tentacles are there, like the mind going in different directions, and you don't know, from here something is happening, from there something else is happening. So this is the condition of everybody's mind, not just Arjun's mind. So therefore, these 2 shlokas of Arjun's doubt, Arjun's confusion, if we were to put it into one sentence, it would read, when will we be able to tame the mind and make it still and silent? And the mind will say, is it even possible? The mind is only asking again, is it even possible for you to make me still? Can you? The ahankar of the mind is asking, is it even possible? Can you? I am so powerful. I am so tenacious. I can do whatever I want. Alright, so what is the solution? Arjun wants to know. He has asked Madhusudana. We would also want to know. Bhagwan will definitely give us the solution next Thursday. But there is one story which is a little simple option. If you can do it with this simple option, you will not need Bhagwan's Updesh next Thursday. Shall I tell you? Okay, it's a story about the monkey mind. So there is a disciple and there is a guru. The disciple is asking the guru, Guruji, how can I tame my mind? It is just like a monkey. So Guruji says, just ordinary monkey. Just an ordinary monkey. Disciple says, no, not ordinary monkey. Drunken monkey. He's a drunken monkey. Drunken? He's drunk, is intoxicated by ignorance. The mind is intoxicated by ignorance. Guruji says, oh, just drunken monkey, that's all. No, not just drunken. The mind is also bitten by a poisonous scorpion. He's drunk also and he has been bitten by a poisonous scorpion. Which scorpion? Scorpion of sensual experiences. Drunk also and poisoned by scorpion of sensual experiences. Guruji says, that's all. No, Guruji, there's more. He says, not only is he drunken, not only is my mind poisoned by sensual experiences, it is also possessed by a ghost. Which ghost? Past memories. Ghost of past memories. So, Guruji, tell me, how can I get rid of this mind which is drunk on ignorance, poisoned by the scorpion of sensual experiences, and also inhabited, possessed by a ghost of past memories? What shall I do? Guruji says, just wake up. Know that you are dreaming. Know that you are not the mind. So then, why do you care? You are Atma. And if you can get it with this simple story, you don't need to go into Vairagya and Abhyas, which Bhagavad will explain to you. If you can get it, you are not the mind. Why do you allow it to intoxicate you? Why do you allow it to poison you? Why do you allow it to possess you? You are Atma. Mil gaya, samajh gaya, baat khatam. Finished. But if you don't get it with this simple story, then you will have to come back next Thursday to hear what Bhagwan Krishna has to tell you to tame the mind. Simple? Any questions? Next Thursday then. Let's end with a prayer. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah.